Okay, we are all so ready for spring, but the question is your hair ready for spring? And if not, this is the man who can make it so. Chris Babb, our good friend and stylist from Pardo Hair, Skin and Body, is here to talk about those spring hairdos. Good to see you, my friend.
You. Thank you.
I'm happy you're back.
Thanks for having me.
And you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Well, I have to say, you know, everybody starts to talk about the new seasons, and with the new seasons come new looks.
Right.
And you know a lot about that, don't you?
That's true.
Any big trends that we're going to see?
Well, a lot, you know, things that we're seeing right now, a lot of texture, a lot of soft curl, much like you have today.
Yes, thanks to Joe and Madi. That was great.
They did a wonderful job today, our students from the Institute. But yeah, really just beautiful, effortless, soft hair, really beautiful waves, glamorous waves.
So is long hair, I mean, now, is one more in than the other, or is there something for each style of hair?
What's great is that there is a variation for each length of hair, but something that we did see a lot were these exaggerated lengths. We saw a lot of that with Jennifer Lopez, for example. I know you're a fellow Idol fan.
Yes.
And her hair, that crazy amount of extensions, looks beautiful.
It
That's
really
something we're
looks
seeing
good
right now. So.
And you know, you can do so much with it because you can go from the ponytails to the, you know, you can do straight, you can do curly.
Totally.
But you're saying the wave and the big curls is kind of a big look right now?
Yeah, big look right now. And maybe less of like that ribbony spiral curl and more of like that really pretty little wave.
Would you say that's kind of more like a 70s inspired look?
Correct, yeah. Very 70s, but also kind of a throwback to the 1930s and 40s with that really, you know, rich, deep wave in the hair.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love seeing that. And you know what I also love is that here in New Mexico, on one hand you say it's dry, so you need more moisture, but on the other hand, it does allow your hair to kind of do what you want it to do. You don't get the same frizz with that no humidity.
Right. And frizz is also something we're seeing. Like,
really?
You're kind of seeing a little bit of that on the red carpet. Some of these little flyaways. It looks almost like you did it yourself.
Like self-inflicted.
Exactly.
Self-inflicted frizz.
Yeah. Think Scarlett Johansson at the Academy Awards. Very kind of effortless, weird texture throughout. Non-consistent.
You're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
And as far as, you know, just overall presentation, it's not considered really messy or unkept now to do that, which I love.
Yeah. Totally. Roll out of bed, go to an award show. There you go.
You can kind of just get a little crazy.
Right.
And so that sassy look is in, so that's good to know. Now let's talk a little bit about the hair colors.
Sure.
What are we seeing a lot with this time of year?
Well, there's a lot of different stuff. I think there's a kind of movement away from these really intentionally placed, like little pieces of color, little highlights. We're seeing a lot more kind of block color and solid colors.
Ooh, really?
And just placements of like large, bold colors throughout the hair. Also a technique called ombre, which is a really nice pattern of melting the color from darker at the root to lighter through the ends.
Really? So that's an intentional plan then.
Exactly.
Now see, I like what you have because you have the real dark and then you have the bold change. Like, but it's not like one of those things where you have like stripy hair or you have blotchy. It changes, but it actually blends at the same time, which is kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
it's a really cool thing.
Exactly.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to see more of that, aren't we? We're going to see a lot more in our video that's coming up, so we can get a piece of you in the action.
Got it.
I like that. Let's take a look.
We have our beautiful model Tiffany here, and we started today by prepping her hair with a little bit of the Aveda Air Control. And for hair that's resistant to curl, this is an incredible product. I love to drench the hair with it literally and then brush through it, and it's so flexible, it's like it never happened. But once you get in there with an iron and actually curl it, the curl is set and maintains for the entire day. Really wonderful product. With each curl, I took a pin and simply pinned them so that they could cool. Oftentimes with hair, especially at this length here, as long as this is, there's often difficulty in achieving a really consistent curl from root all the way to end. So by pinning the curl in place atop your head allows it to cool and stay consistent throughout the entire strand of hair. So what I like to do is once the curl has set and cooled, I'll apply a little bit of the Light Element smoothing fluid to my hands, and generally 1 to 2 pumps is sufficient. This is a really, really nice product. It's totally weightless. It adds a lot of natural shine to the hair, but will also help to bring down any frizz or flyaways that may be present at this time. So simply using my hands, I'll begin by kind of pulling from the bottom and beginning to rake out these curls. And if they've set properly, they should begin to just fall apart beautifully and separate into these really beautiful, classic, almost S-shaped curls throughout the head. So just working my way through. And Tiffany has plenty of hair, but this is also a look easily achieved, especially a great example, Jennifer Lopez at the Grammys. a ton of extensions. We do beautiful extension work here at Mark Pardo. So if you're unable to get your hair to this length, then Tiffany certainly has a really full head of hair. Extensions would be a really wonderful option to help you achieve this amount of body and this amount of fullness. From here, we can maintain either a really nice center parting, or we can begin to switch that up. Something that we saw especially on Megan Fox at the Golden Globes was a really, really beautiful asymmetry. So the hair was all pushed over one shoulder, and a really, really soft part was created through the middle, but brushed over. And this creates a really nice amount of interest. Also really, really increases how full the hair appears. If we did really want to smooth this out and create more of that true classic S-shaped curl, we can begin with a large paddle brush and simply begin brushing the curls out so that they create these really beautiful wave patterns rather than the spirally curls that we're so accustomed to. So really, really nice, easy look for you to create at home as well. So to create this really nice asymmetry that again we saw on Megan Fox at the Golden Globes, it's very similar to creating a French twist. You want to begin by just pushing the hair over to the shoulder that you'd like to have the hair hang over, and then simply take pins and begin lightly pinning the hair away and behind the ear. And that is a really, really easy way just to secure it there. So just moving from the left over to the right here, softly sweeping some of this hair, creating a really nice, deep, asymmetrical updo here. Not having all of the hair up, this would be a beautiful look, especially for like a strapless gown, something where you want to maybe, you know, show off the back, because we've removed all the hair from the back now and simply placed it here over the shoulder. So with those summer and spring weddings, very popular trends, and a really, really simple, easy look to dress up for long hair. I'm going to finish with a little bit of our spray shine, especially on hair as dark as Tiffany's. It's ideal. Adds a really nice amount of shine to the hair, gives it that incredibly soft, beautiful look without a large amount of weight, which can often be found in a lot of shine products. Just a light misting over the top really dresses things up, gives it a classic polished look. Wonderful.
That's pretty.
Thanks.
That's pretty. And we also want to mention, now, Tiffany does not have hair extensions.
No, she is one of those lucky girls with pounds of hair. So,
I love it.
Yeah, pretty wild.
I love her hair. And I love what you did. Now, what kind of tools should every woman have at home in order to create these kind of looks for themselves?
Sure, yeah. I think because we are seeing so much texture, it's really important that you break out the curling irons this season.
Yeah.
Have one on hand. Depending on the length of your hair,
okay.
You know, you want to choose the iron appropriately. I always say the best bet is to be able to wrap your hair around the iron at least twice, around the barrel of the iron at least twice. Then you're going to get a really nice curl.
Okay.
So again, depending on the length of the hair, you want to choose an iron appropriately. Also, you know, pins and brushes. Those are things that you should always just have lying around. I used a large paddle brush to rake through her hair today.
Yes.
Also, for the curl, with that length of hair, often the length will work against you in helping that curl set. If you get in there and heat it up and set it, and then simply pin it to the scalp at that point and let it cool there, it's going to maintain a consistent curl from scalp to end.
That's a great tip. And I can't believe you only used 2 pins. He was saying he only used 2 pins to get her hair in that position, all that hair.
Sure.
It's incredible. And just really quick also, I want to go back to, you said that you used a paddle brush. Now, a lot of us, myself included, have curly hair. I've always thought using a brush through my hair like that is going to make it get too frizzy or too, is that still true, or?
You know, it can. What I used prior to beginning with the brush was our Light Element Smoothing Fluid. It's a wonderful Aveda product, and a little bit goes a long way. It's entirely weightless, so it doesn't make the hair greasy, but it helps to reduce any sort of flyaways or frizz that you can create.
That is good. I love it. Now, how do we stay current with the latest trends? How do we continue to stay current?
You know, I always personally look to the red carpets. I look to the red carpets to see what's happening. And though sometimes they're a little more, you know, avant-garde, a little edgier, there's there's some things you can take home and translate pretty easily to your own look.
Definitely.
So those are ways that I always stay abreast of what's happening.
Not to mention, we could always go and visit you.
Of course.
To keep up.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I love it. Now, also, before we go, I want you to tell me a little bit about the education that you've received through Mark Pardo, because I know so many people aspire to do what you do and do it as well. So tell us about how you got to where you are.
Well, Mark Pardo's is a wonderful company. When you first start as a hairstylist, you enter our Protégés training program, which is a really intensive 6 to 8 month training program where essentially your skills are refined as a stylist and you're taught essentially the Aveda way of doing things.
Right.
From there, we hold monthly classes taught by our master educators, focusing on a variety of things, whether it be texture, men's hair cutting, advanced color placements, all sorts of different stuff. And Aveda releases a collection twice a year, focusing on trends for those seasons. And that's something we actually just did as a company. We come together and learn all of these really great new techniques.
And that keeps you current, and then that, of course, in turn, keeps your clients happy and current. And I love that. And of course, if you want to go see Chris or any of the Mark Pardo stylists, you can always head to any of the salons that you're looking at on your screen right now. And you are at the Nob Hill location.
Correct.
So, of course, a lot of people will want to come and see you.
Wonderful.
You're fantastic.
Thank you
so much
Nikki.
for being here,
Thank
Chris.
you.
And we have to go singing one night.
Done.
We have to do it.
Done.
We're back after the break. Will anyone have it?